Good, thank you. Good morning. We're the 2021 Board of Equalization and Review for Union County. We've been appointed by the county commissioners to hear any and all taxpayers with respect to their concerns or complaints regarding the valuation of their property for tax purposes. Property owners appearing before the Board of Equalization and Review have the right to a fair and equitable hearing. The Board of Equalization and Review has been charged with ensuring that proper legal principles have been applied in the evaluation dispute for tax purposes. And here's the format. The clerk calls the case and locates the property. The appellant presents his or her case. Both parties will be given an opportunity to conclude their comments. All questions should be directed to me or the board. The board will rule on the case or table it and inform the taxpayers when it will be reopened. The taxpayer will be notified in writing of the board's decision. By statute, the burden of proof is on the taxpayer to demonstrate the assessment is erroneous. Ask that you please silence your cell phones, and as soon as the deliberation proceedings are over, we'll go into the, excuse me, I said that wrong. This hearing, then we'll go into the deliberation stage. You're welcome to stay or leave at that point. All right, Bella.
Good morning. We have parcels, tab number 1 through 8 that we're going to review, and Ms. Susan Delaney will be speaking to you.
These are located on Hemby Road in Weddington, between Providence Road and Weddington Matthews Road.
Robin, my screen is not working.
No, it's not.
Excuse me just 1 minute.
Yeah. Is there an on-off button here? It might take a minute to reboot.
Okay. I'll slide over this way.
Yeah,
There it is.
you go.
Okay, good.
Okay, now it's fast.
Good morning.
Good morning, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So I gave you a piece of paper, and I'm going to be my paper, and then on the third page, there's a spreadsheet of the history of the units, and so for your quick review. I'm not going to read this. I'm going to talk to you, and if you have questions, please feel free. So my name is Susan Delaney, and I'm from Weddington, North Carolina. I don't know if you remember Harry Delaney. I'm one of his 6 daughters who ran the dairy farm in Chapel Hill. And Harry Delaney and my uncle Ernest Delaney bought and put these up in 1987. And after their death, they were run by 10 members of the family, 2 different families. So these units, oh, by the way, I'm talking about all of them as a 10 parcel, not individually, unless you have specific questions, were owned and operated, for 25 years probably, maybe longer actually, by 2 LLC managers. At that point, it came to the point where we really needed to do some repairs, or the insurance company did not want to renew our insurance. So at that point, the family decided they didn't want to put any money into it and they should sell it. And my husband and I became the buyer in March of 2015. And at that point, that purchase apparently triggered a tax reappraisal of the property. They had been running, as you can see from your chart, of various numbers, 164,000, that's down at the bottom, 166, 132, various prices for units that are identical. So I called the tax appraiser in Monroe and said, so why did these go from $166,000 to $76,000? And it's like, you told us this property was worth $1.6 million, and now you've reappraised it at 76 and a variety of numbers. And he said, that's because, Ms. Delaney, these units are in extreme disrepair. And I said, oh, and he said, yes. And he said, I hope you didn't pay that much for them, the $1.6 million they were valued at. I said, no, I didn't. I paid about what you appraised it as, $770,000 or $80,000 at the time. And then at that time, I said, well, you know, there's not 11 of the units, one of them burned down. He goes, oh, no, we didn't know that. So the tax value of these units has been way higher in the past than it should have been. And so, but I won't tell the family, they won't need a refund. So in that point, so then I said to him, well, why are they all different? It's 0.93 acres, they're 820 square feet apiece, 2 units, I guess, are in there. And so why are they different? And he said, well, maybe there's some like little units in the back. I said, those people don't have enough room. They have to have their storage sheds for gardening and whatnot. Those aren't my sheds. So anyway, we settled upon the number of $70,000 per unit and $34,000 for the unit, just the empty lot where the unit had burned down. So that's what happened, and I didn't actually put that in there, but that was what we paid for 1 year. Then that triggered another reassessment, which you can see in, well, I came before this board. What was that date? I think it was 2016, June of 2016. And I made an appraisal. So what happened was, in the meantime, my husband and I borrowed $475,000 and did the repairs that were necessary, redid the plumbing, stuff that had been neglected. We're not talking enhancement of the properties, because the hardy plank that was applied to the outside of each of the units was a necessity, because it was structurally becoming damaged, and so we had to do that. So we're still currently paying off that loan, but then the next year, I guess because I did the enhancement, the values went up from 70,000 to, as you can see, in 2016, to 120, 119, 116, depending on what somebody wanted to appraise it as, which I don't understand this. Do you actually go and look at the units or not? So I appeared before this board, and I was denied my request, and so I said, well, I'll see you in Raleigh. And then the attorney from Monroe called me several months later, because apparently you don't want to go to Raleigh, and he negotiated the settlement of $107,000 each. And I said, oh goodness, that's the right thing to do, is make them exactly the same, because they are identical. And from 2017 until 2020, that has been the price, $107,000. And then we get the new bills, which are $50,000 more. Mind you, these are units that have been there since 1987. They are prefabricated homes, meaning they came in on a truck. They are not standard built homes. When we went to the banks to get money to repair them, 4 banks turned us down. We don't rehab these homes because they think they aren't worth anything. And so the only reason we got a loan in the first place is because PNC Bank, I've been banking with them for 30 years, they said, okay, we'll give you the loan. And they did the assessment and looked at the rent and said, you can manage this. So these units are low-income housing in Weddington, basically the only low-income housing in Weddington. For people who are elderly, some of these people have lived there since my dad put these things up. Some of them are hardworking Hispanics who have jobs, all legal, in the city where they can, Charlotte, where they can get work doing construction and restaurant and things like that. So my request is you not raise these rents dramatically, because I will have to raise the rents for these people. And they're already paying what they can, and sometimes they're late on their rent, but we just help them out getting through to the next month. Fortunately, we didn't have any problems with during COVID. People were able to pay. We had some back rent, but we were able to get through it. So again, these are small units for low-income housing, and I think the prices that you're charging are for taxes just extremely too high. So I'm willing to, first of all, my first request to you is that you make them all the same. This is irrational. No attorney in Raleigh is going to look at that and go, why are these numbers different? And second is that you lower these to the more really appreciable value that they are.
Which you think is what?
Well, I don't know how you determine fully this, but in 4 years, it doesn't seem like their value should go up $50,000. That's, their last time they were 107. So I'm willing to negotiate with somebody around it. I wrote in my paper 110, 115. I think that's a tax thing that's really the true value of these units. It is negotiable. I have a conversation with you about it, but this is kind of unacceptable.
What kind of monthly rent per unit do you get?
$650.
Per unit?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Then I have to pay back this loan, and then I have to pay a manager. And as I said, there's a $4,000 heating unit, there's a $33,000, plumbing thing, or something happens, I had to cut down a $10,000 tree, oak tree, one of those big willow oaks last year, which I didn't have the money for, so I had to borrow it and pay for that. So it's not extremely money-making, these units, but it is income that helps support my husband, who's a musician, shall we say.
Ray, you have any questions, Mr. Laney?
Ms. Delaney, these were built in 1987?
Yes, sir, I think that's correct. It could be 85, but they were moved there, actually. They bring them on a truck, and then I say built, they have to put the foundation down and the plumbing. You know how that goes.
And you went to, according to your letter here, you decided not to go to the Property Tax Commission back in, whenever it was, 2016 or whatever?
No, I came here.
Pardon me?
I did come here.
No, I'm talking about the state.
Oh, that's
Property.
because the attorney said, Susan, we don't really want to go to Raleigh. Can you negotiate this with us? I said, sure, I'll be willing to do that.
So,
And that's how you got the 107 in 17, because he didn't want to come to Raleigh, and good to know, guys. It cost a lot to send people up to Raleigh, and he felt like it's negotiable.
yeah. So maybe this is a question for the county here, but what was the previous tax value per unit? Was it 107?
From 17 to 20, yes, sir, it was 107 for the past 4 years.
So before this revaluation, each unit was 107,000.
Yes, sir, it was 107,000.
So
And-
they've gone from 107 to 160 something.
Yes, sir,
Okay, I want to make sure I was clear on that.
yeah.
That's all I have, Randy.
Okay. Mark, you have
And
anything?
previously,
Oh,
I
sorry.
will say, they had charged the units, like you can see at the bottom, 166, 165,
Okay, I
in
got
which that appraiser was really hoping and praying I did not pay that for it.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Mark, you have anything?
Yeah, these buildings, are they duplexes or just one rental property each?
They're duplexes.
So when you said 650, you really get $1,300 a
Close
month
to
per
that.
building?
Close to that. Mhm.
Okay. And is that the amount that you told the bank when you got your 475,000, when you had to prove to them it could be paid off and all?
Actually, no, it was a little bit less at that
Okay,
point. We've
it
had to
was.
raise it because the taxes are going, and I had to do a lot of,
Right, work on it, you said that.
Yeah.
I understand the
Yeah, yeah.
business part of it. That makes
and it's a
sense.
reasonable rent, I think.
Yeah, 1,300 per.
No, I mean $650 for the tenants.
Okay, 650 for a tenant, but there's 2 tenants in each building, is that correct?
Oh, yes, sir, I see what you're saying, 13.
It's property.
Right.
You can have 10 tenants, I guess, I don't know.
No.
Okay, my other question is this. I think somebody asked, Randy might ask you your taxpayer opinion of value, and you're basing it on what you paid, 107 when you negotiated, but that was in 215, we don't even look at that.
216, yes.
216. But on my paper here, it says taxpayer opinion of value is 155 for each unit, you know, all the same amount. You definitely want it all the same. So you put down 155, or is this a mistake?
Oh, it's supposed to be, it was a mistake, I'm sorry, it was
Yeah,
120, or 115.
All right.
What did I say?
Well, I mean, it's just on my paper that your opinion of value was 155. That's why I'm asking you. Now you're saying it's a mistake. Okay?
Well, where is that, sir? My typo?
It's just on my sheet of paper, y'all see what I'm talking about?
On this that I
You know,
sent
each
you?
parcel ID has that, and it says, you know, taxpayer's opinion of value, 155, original value, 151.9, and tax office new opinion of value is 162.3.
Oh, I
I'm
don't
going on-
have that piece of paper. I didn't write that down.
Okay.
That's their
Obviously,
opinion,
it
not
came-
mine.
I don't know who came up with that value. That's why I'm asking if that's your value.
You sent in, it did say 155,000.
Oh, no, it should be 115. I apologize.
All right, so all of them, and you're basing that back on what you negotiated with an attorney for $107,000 in 2016 or whatever, right? So nobody would go to Raleigh, and I
Well,
agree with that. I agree.
He felt like it was a fairly good price for the units for what they were. And I haven't done any improvement since that time. So my apologies for this, because if you want to go to 120, I'm okay with that. But just 160 is a huge leap. So 15,000 over is fine. But you know, the taxes in Orange County, I own an office building, an old house there, and they dropped their taxes there. So when I got this bill, I'm like, what's going on in Union County? So maybe it's not so good for our property values, but anyway.
Okay. So again, $650 a unit, which is what you told the bank was a little bit less in 2016, but right now you've got them at $650 a unit, correct?
And some are $625.
$1,300 a building.
Some are $625, if I'm perfectly honest, because
All right,
they can't.
that's fine.
Not much difference.
All right, and your reason for the opinion of value is just because you negotiated with the attorney before you went to Raleigh, and they came up with that amount?
That's what he came up with, and I feel that was a reasonable value coming from 70,000 to 107. That was a big leap, but I had improved them. And so I guess,
But can I ask you a question?
sure,
Not these units here, right? This is what you're appealing. I'm just asking in general terms, so it's no big deal. Do you think the values in Weddington, land values and house values have increased in the last 5 years?
oh gosh, they have everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I was going to.
And where do you go to the Triangle?
Yeah, I know.
Where
that's-
Google and Amazon
Yeah, you
and
go anywhere. Okay.
Apple are coming.
I don't have any other questions.
Mike? I'll hold my question. I'll come back to you. Thank you. Let's hear from the county, if you don't mind.
Okay, well, do you have any, you'll hold it for what?
Oh,
Till
then I'm
they're
gonna-
done?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask the
Okay.
county, and then I'm gonna come back to you. Thank
Sure.
you.
Should I sit down?
Let's hear from the county.
Morning. I provided a packet for you guys. First one is a map. 8 of these duplexes were appealed, 2 of them were not. So the ones on the map that I provided you are the ones that were actually appealed, and there were 8 of them. On the second page is the one that Mrs. Delaney mentioned that had burned down in the past. That lot sold in 2019 for $55,000. So historically, we have grouped these properties together. I used that one land sale to value each lot there, so each lot is $55,000. And then the improvement is just based on cost, based on our table of values that we used across the county. We did not put any neighborhood modifiers or anything like that. It's strictly cost and land value, which is how we came up with our current values. Each one is slightly different, and the variations are based on deck sizes and masonry stoops, which are just vary slightly. But that's why, because we look at them individually. So if one has a deck that's slightly larger, it's going to adjust the value just slightly. I'll point out on parcel that ends in 024, which is the first property record card I provided you. Mrs. Delaney mentioned that she had renovated these several years back, and we had changed them all from fair condition to average condition at the time. This one, I believe, was just missed at the time because we still have it in fair condition. So I noticed that. So I put the new proposed value, putting that in average condition, just like all the other ones. So that one is a change from 151.9 to 162.3. And that's how we came up with our values there. As Mrs. Delaney said, these properties are unique in the area. There are no other properties like this in Weddington, as you can imagine. So that's why we went strictly off of cost and our land sale.
Did you and Ms. Delaney discuss the income approach at all when you were coming up with your valuation?
We did not know.
Okay.
Why did you not use the income approach? Just curious.
It's not typically how we value residential.
Okay.
So we treated this the same as all the other residential.
Okay. Anything else, Mark? Mike? Ray, any questions?
Yeah. Yes, rather. Based on what you just said, you got $55,000 apiece on the lots, right?
Correct.
So if I subtract that from the 100, just ballpark, 162, whatever, for the total value, that gives me roughly $105,000 for each unit, the structure. That comes out to $128 a square foot. Seems a little high to me, but maybe that's average.
Well, I think in this, if they're a duplex, you said they're 850 a square feet, right? 850? But that's for a unit, is that not correct?
it'd be
It's for one.
1,600 for
So
one.
there's really like, yeah, he's right, 1,700 square feet for a building. That's where it gets confusing, when you say
Okay.
unit and it's really a duplex. But
Yeah, I'm sorry,
So then it really lowers it down.
Okay,
yeah, each structure is 1,568 square feet.
There you go.
okay, thank you.
Anything else, guys?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Ms. Delaney, you have anything else?
I'll just make one comment. So the reason these were left out, I think, is, I was talking about all 10 of them, and I tried to send all 10. It might have been a computer glitch. It was January, February during COVID, and Velma and I tried to work on it and get it straightened out. So that was just the reason the appeal didn't go through, but I thought it did, so, until just recently, so.
Thank you. All right, Bella?
Tab number 9, parcel ID number 092161108 has been submitted for review.
Mr. Chairman, the property owner asked that the board review the information that they submitted because they were unable to attend the meeting today.
Okay.
Thank you. Do you, here, I got a bunch of these. Okay.
Just pretend like they're here.
Brett, I guess we'll hear from you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, sir.
This property is in Barbie Farms. I'll zoom out so you can see the location. Y'all may be familiar with it already. If you are. Here is the, let's see here. Burger King, Food Lion, Secret Shortcut, Highway 74 in the mall. So take Secret Shortcut north, and this subdivision is here on the right. And there's the subject highlighted in blue. So this property, after reviewing the sales comparables, and if you will refer to those, you'll see that the subject property in question here, we have a total value of $242,500. And after reviewing the sales comparables within the subdivision, all of them within Barbie Farms, the indicated value come up to be $242,200, within $300 the value we have on the property currently. And all three comparables, I think, are very comparable to our property by age, size, quality. Is all very, very tight. So we have very few adjustments. If you look at your total net and gross adjustments, it's not very often we have them with 2% and 3%. So I feel pretty good about the value. I feel like it's fair and equitable. I don't see a need to reduce it at this time.
Okay.
On your comps that you provided, are they similar to the comps? Didn't they send this Ryan thing, did they do an appraisal on anything?
They sent,
They sent us something?
they're not comps.
Okay, they're not comps. All right?
Let me get that document.
I was just trying to figure out what this is. Oh, okay, they're doing values of
Right.
what the county has on them?
Yes. I believe that,
More equalization than,
right. Yeah, they're looking at previous, I think they're pulling a lot of that offline, off Zillow, and they appealed hundreds of properties, and this is just one of hundreds. So they didn't really pull comps and do a comparable study.
okay, but it has dates on here. Like they sold for 171 or something, or,
Let me,
I just,
It looks like sale dates, but most of the sales from all from early 2019.
okay. It's just hard to figure this stuff out when, they write it down and you don't. You can't ask them anything.
I would assume those are sales from the subdivision. There's so little data given, I can't really tell you.
And that's all I was trying to do, is to see if the county has those same sales in their comps that they use to come up with the 242, 242, 200 or something.
I think the oldest sale I see on their list is March of 2020. I'm going to say most of our sales we looked at were after that date.
that's correct.
Okay.
All right, Mark, sorry, I didn't have in front of me a while ago. I was
Yep.
speaking off memory. I've seen so many come across, but yes, these are actually sales. My bad on that,
All right,
my problem.
that's fine.
But they are old, most of them are old, older homes, like sales that, as Phil spoke to. And after reviewing my sales, I felt like they were more comparable than better data than
Yep.
what he had supplied.
And your comps are from 10/7/20, April, August, okay? And there were a lot of sales in this neighborhood. See, I'm trying to figure out if these,
And
like
there's-
8 or 10 in the verse.
There's no addresses, there's no parcel
Okay.
numbers, nothing. There's no way to verify any of this.
And that's why I said, since the person's not here, it's hard for me to
Correct. And
verify.
you can see the data. There's nothing here to indicate
Doesn't, yeah.
where they
Okay.
came from.
Sorry to bother you.
Okay.
No question.
Ray? Mike?
Thank you. Tab number 10 and 11 will be together, and that will be parcel ID number 03-108-021A and 03-108-021C, TAD 4 Inc.
These parcels are located off Lansford Road. There's Canal, Kelly Autry. Old Pageland is over here on the left. In southern Union County, there's 601. 21A is highlighted, and 21C is just to the left.
Okay, two,
Two parcels side by side.
one's a barn.
No, they're both dwellings.
That's a home too?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to start with A first, is that fine? Well,
Mr. Chairman,
Hang on, yes, yeah.
could he say who he is?
oh, my name is Theron Norris.
And you're the property owner?
Yes, I'm one of them
Thank
with Hayes. We printed out a sheet. I don't know if all of you have one. We just printed out 5 of them. It's a simple argument in terms of, it's just based on comparable sales. And we got the comparables from your county's website and tried to get them all in the same area, the same square footage, and the same build quality. All of the sales on A are based on 2020 sales, some of them within 7 months. And then the average of, I provided 8 comparables with the parcel numbers for A, and the average of them is $94. The property's pretty far out. And that's the only thing I want considered, is the comparable sales values.
Which is your home, the one on the right or left?
The one on the right is his home.
Okay, but behind, with the trees,
Yes, that's right.
okay.
That's the one we're talking about right now, A.
So you have, does he have a deeded right-of-way to his home?
Yes. It's actually under that line, the blue line on the left.
Okay.
Just to be clear,
Yes, sir.
so now when I say deed, that means on paper, he's got a mortgage somewhere. Do you have a mortgage on your home?
There's no mortgage.
Okay, so there's a deeded right-of-way to that property, so he could, I know you're allowing him to use that, but at some point you deeded him a right-of-way.
Absolutely, yes,
Okay.
sir.
This property, you're saying 505 Hudson Street's within 2,200 and...
Yes, sir. If you're out on the road, I think.
Yeah, I was going to ask the county if y'all could, spread that.
Hudson Street's in the city of Monroe.
I don't know,
Yeah, that's what I need. I
Yeah.
was going to say the same thing, but we're going to find out.
Well,
We're going to find out where, there could be a Hudson Street out
This
there.
is
I don't know.
Lansford Road, number 10 and 11.
I saw the picture of the home on the comparable. It's right a little past Canal Street.
Yeah, there's 601 right here. There's
Yeah.
Lansford Road as it comes off 601. I think there's a fire department right there.
There he is.
Yes, sir,
And then we're up past Canal,
yep.
right there.
I'm trying to find
Oh,
505 Hudson Street.
You see the star point, where the roads come together in 5 points? That property's a little bit to the left.
You're trying to find a comparable?
One of the comparables I
Yeah, if you look at
mentioned.
what he wrote, I was like Randy, I think I know a Hudson Street, but it's not out there at Lansford. So I just want y'all to show me where this property is.
So without me digging too far, all right, so the county thinks your home is worth $385,900. So what's your value?
Well, I would just like that value adjusted for the comparable sales for the square footage. I didn't add up all the other incidents. But if that value is reprogrammed, then that.
Hudson Street is in downtown Monroe?
Yeah,
Okay, there it
That's
is.
my opinion.
yeah, off of
Off Charles.
East Franklin.
Yep, there you go.
I'm familiar.
The next two comparables are on Lansford Road.
Okay, see, you're doing what I'm asking, and that is, I don't personally think Hudson Street, if it's the location I think of, is really a comparable at all to your property out there. So I don't know why it's on the sheet.
But on the comparable sheet, it pulls it up and gives you the distance from your property. That's how you can narrow down the selection. That one listed itself as 2,200 feet from our home. And the picture I saw was a picture. There's a house with a pond, and there's a house right across from it. And that house that was pulled up in that comparable, on the first one I listed, I've seen before on the road.
Are we still talking about 505 Hudson Street? Or you got another property here that you?
No, sir. If 505 Hudson Street is, yes, sir, that's what we're talking about. That's the one that it pulled up on the comparable list as what I listed, 2,200 feet from our house. And when I saw the picture for it, I recognized the house. I don't recognize the address. I know that Canal Street is here, but the other two homes,
But it's hard for me to, you're basing your whole, appeal on this Hudson Street and.
not
we can't-
necessarily, I'm basing it on 8 comparables on this sheet listed, if
Okay.
you see it.
Were you given, did you see the county's comparables, particularly the two comparables that are off 601 South in the Lanes Creek area? Did you see those?
I've seen all the county's comparables, yes, sir.
Okay.
And I know that,
And those were sales that happened roughly last summer. And then there were deductions made for square footage being a little different, land size being much different. So you got 9.32 acres, is that what I see?
I believe so.
Okay. And both houses they're in your name?
Yes, and
Okay.
mine and Hayes's.
Any questions, Ray, for?
So you're asking for your average of $94 a square foot?
Yes, sir, based on the comparable sales. Whether or not you decide, if you verify Hudson Street as not being comparable, that might be removed, but otherwise, yes, sir.
That's all, Randy.
Mark, you have anything?
No, just for the county when they get up. But you're saying that some of these properties here on your list are really close to your?
Yes, sir, they're on the same road, Lansford.
Okay,
Number
maybe
2
the
and 3
county
are,
can
I
show us
bolded
that.
them in black, the ones that were the closest.
Okay,
To get the same size, it goes out for about 5 or 6 miles. We weighted it towards the size of the house. We tried to get as close by as possible, but those were the ones we could find close by, and then it goes out for about 6 or 10 miles.
got you.
Yes, sir.
I don't have any more questions for him.
Okay, so you're at $94 a square foot,
I believe so, yeah, that's what I've asked
and you
for.
got 2,808 square feet.
If that's what it says, yes, sir.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
So now we're at 263, 952, okay? Then we come down, so what's 9 acres
That,
off Lansford Road valued at? What do you think?
Well,
yeah.
I think based on, I didn't base my reduction on that, like on your comps, it shows the land what it is and change the value of just the home. But I guess I didn't really check that. I know it's around $8,000 an acre, maybe less.
But
I
you
know-
have
I know
any
that
comps
from-
for it? You have any sales that you know of?
I didn't do comps, I only did
On land.
comps on the value of the square footage.
What does
They're
that?
listing the land value on our house as 56,700 for whatever amount of acres, if you divide that into it.
5,600 times 9?
$56,700 is the county's listed land value of
For the
that.
9 total acres?
Yes, sir,
See, that's information. Thank you.
absolutely.
Great. Is this number 10? We're still talking about number 10, correct?
Yes, sir. We are.
So on my sheet of paper, again, it just says opinion of value 314. Is that what you think the value is, or do you?
I wouldn't want to say, because.
don't wanna say?
Well, in terms of, I'd have to take a calculator and calculate the house at $94 a square foot, and then add it in to the property value that you already have.
Okay.
And then if that equals that, then that would be my opinion. If it's not, I haven't done the math on that.
Okay, you haven't?
Well, based on,
I'm just,
I'm gonna round to 264,000 at the $94 a square foot.
okay.
Then I just heard you say $8,000 a square, acre, so that's 72,000.
What? Okay.
So now I'm roughly at $347,000 based on what you're telling me.
You're at what for 10?
346 or 347.
Well, in terms of, you're listing the land value at 56,700.
No, you just told me 8,000 though.
No, I'm guessing out of the air.
That's
I
the
have-
county's value on it.
No, that's his. He said he thought it was worth 8,000 an acre.
No, I don't know that. I mean, I bought it a long time ago.
I was trying to let you know that.
Yeah, the county,
The
right.
county's value
It's
is.
56, yeah.
Yeah, that's, I accept that. I've not compared that. I just compared the houses on your comparable sales, database.
So these houses, both houses have wells, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Both houses have septic systems.
Yes, sir,
Okay, you don't share.
correct.
Okay.
They're separate. But what, I'm simply asking for $94 a square foot for the house based on comparable sales within the last 12
Okay.
months.
Let's go ahead and go to the next one. I guess
Yes,
your
sir.
son's home while you're here, rather than go back, and we'll go to the county
That'll be
same way.
fine. That'll be fine. I'm presenting, I have two sets of comparables on number 11. The first set is for homes. That house is listed as average plus build. And I did comparables in the same neighborhood. The counties go farther out. And on the second page, I've done a list of 8 comparables that go farther out, that are the same build quality, trying to be the same square footage. The second set of comparables is roughly the same square footage. On the same neighborhood, on the first set of comparables, it's a little bit closer, so it's about 600 square feet less. There's not the same size house out there. But it's the same build quality, the same age of construction. A lot of them are younger. The average price per square foot in the neighborhood for average plus is $95.86. And if you open the parameters up a little bit to the 10-mile radius, you get $93.39 a square foot. So I'm asking for the $95.86 that's in the same neighborhood on that house.
And I understand these values or these sale dates you have, and you're coming up with that,
Yes, so that's from your website.
is based on the square footage.
And average. And
Of that house, not.
Not the
That's why
other.
it's different.
Yes, sir.
So the square footage on number 10, which is the first one we did. How many
Right,
square feet is
2,800.
that? How many square feet do you have in that house?
Around 2,800.
2,800. And this one you're talking about now, how many?
4,200.
3,200?
42.
42?
Yes, sir.
Did it say anything about being unfinished?
Yes, well, I have. I've written in it, being unfinished. It was evaluated as 73% finished in 2019, August.
Has it been finished since?
No, we're waiting a year to finish it.
What's unfinished? What part of the house?
The main floor, the main area, it's just not finished. It has drywall up.
You have pictures?
I don't have them, no.
That would have helped.
When you appealed this, did you make the county aware that it was unfinished?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Okay.
And they had just come out in the end of 2019, and in our first letter on the appeal, yes, I did, I stated it clearly. It was just a paragraph, but yes, sir.
And they came out and looked at your house?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
They sure did.
Hear what the county says.
Any questions, Mike, Mark,
No, sir.
Ray? Let's hear from the county if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Thank
Okay?
you.
It's just hard for me to, unfinished house and you don't have pictures of it. I can't.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have nothing to judge or anything to judge.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. On number 10, I have a comparable sales report with 4 sales. It's similar to the ones you've seen, and these 4 sales support our value of $385,300. They're adjusted, as you know, for square footage differences, land differences, and depreciation.
Okay, that's the sales are behind the orange sheet, is that right? Your comps?
I don't know what color the sheet is, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there should be 4, 6118 Lansford Road.
And they're kind of
21.
close. Except 2 are on the other side of.
Yeah, I'm
601.
within 4.5 miles.
So 1 and 3 are really close, would you say that?
I would say they're 1 and 3 are within a couple thousand feet, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I got you there. And are these, I don't know if you had a chance, but did you review the taxpayer's opinion of value in that sheet of paper and all those?
This one?
Yeah,
No,
whatever.
sir, I did not, other than to print them out and make sure you had copies. They came in, this appeal came in at 3:15, and number 11 came in after 5 on Friday. So I have not had a chance to look at these numbers.
And verify where they're located?
No, sir,
based
other
on-
than we looked at Hudson Street and Monroe. But
Yeah.
in talking with Mr. Norris, Hayes Norris, it appears that these square footage values are not adjusting for anything. They're just, it's raw data off of our website where our sales report are adjusting for differences.
Give me a second, I just want to look at. Okay, on theirs, the Hudson Street is off, but the next one down is 6309,
Lansford, yes, sir.
and that seems to be comp number 1 on yours, I think.
It is,
It is?
yes, sir.
Okay, so you come up with a net back, what, 422,764, is that what the?
Yeah,
county
that's
had?
adjusting the sale value to match the.
422,
Mhm.
and the taxpayers, or what's the county's value on this property? I'm sorry.
250. It sold for 315.
Well, okay. What's the tax value again on this property we're discussing?
Number 1 or the subject?
The subject.
Subject.
The tax value is 385.3.
385.3,
Yes, sir.
and your first comp is 422. And, oh, okay. The second comp is 307,150.
Yep.
That's a big drop. Is it square footage? I can't tell. No?
Square footage is less by 500 feet from the subject,
Oh, yeah, distance from the thing is what you,
4.5 miles.
All right, so let me ask you a question on comp 1. So you've got proof that the home sold a year ago for 315, but in 1 year, you increased the value over $100,000?
No, sir. No, sir. What we're trying to do is make the sale comparable to the subject. So we're adjusting the sale to match the subject. So the subject has 2,808 square feet. Comp number 1 has 2,573. So we're adjusting up to match the subject there. The depreciation is different. The subject was built in 2008. Comp number 1 was built in 1974. So we're adjusting.
Oh, yeah.
We're adding some value
Yeah,
there because that one's older. And then the same with the land.
We're trying to make the comparables as similar to the subject. So
Right.
we're adjusting each of the comparables to, okay, $90 a square foot for size differences, $4,000 or $5,000 for acreage differences, that sort of thing. So in every single one of these comparables, you'll see a sales price, but then at the bottom, you'll see an adjusted sales price. That's an attempt to make it like the subject.
And comp one has 4.44 acres
Yes, sir.
versus the 9.3. Comp two has .94 acre, not even an acre.
Yes, sir.
You have any questions regarding item number 10? Ray?
You're at about 6,000 an acre. Randy, you did a computation, yours was on 6,000, was it?
He said he heard 8.
He just saying 8,000, but
$6,084 and some change is
Okay.
roughly what we have this parcel valued at.
Okay, thank you, that's all I have.
No, sir, I'm done.
all right, let's go to number 11. On 11, have you reviewed the home being 73% complete or 27, 26, 27% unfinished?
We had appraisers on site in August of 19, and I have not been out since then, but I do trust that the home has not been updated since. I have seen no activity in Evolve to indicate there's been a permit pulled for renovation.
Randy, I was the appraiser in the home at the time, so I can speak to the percent complete at that time. Again, not knowing if things changed since that period, but at the time, the sheet rock was on the, was on the walls, and that's pretty much the stage it was at, nothing beyond that.
No heat and air, no electrical, no nothing run through there?
Roughed in, yeah, so roughed in, yes, because it had sheet rock. All that was roughed in.
So did you, this evaluation, did you take what he just said into,
I did. I continued to leave it at 73%. If you
Okay.
want to, on the comparable sales that I've submitted to you, I have, I think, 4 of those. At the bottom, there's a narrative as to how I got to the number. We can walk through that if you'd like. I'll wait till you guys are
Okay.
there.
Yeah,
Good?
let me ask you a question,
Sure,
so
sure.
I'm still on page. We're on number 11 parcel. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Okay.
It's
whatever.
right beside it,
It's
right
right beside it, right?
Yep, same
And the
ownership.
original value by the county was 570.
Yes, sir.
Taxpayers' opinion value was 413. And then you went out and reviewed or whatever, and you came up with a new value, I assume 73% complete, I don't know.
Yes, sir.
And you dropped it down to 444, is that correct?
That's correct.
And the taxpayer's opinion is 413?
Initially, yes, sir.
Uh-huh. So you lowered a lot.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Randy, you go ahead.
So what I normally do, so what we do, I did what we normally do. I valued the home as if it was 100% complete. I verified that with these comparable sales. And then I removed the land from the equation, dropped it down to 73% complete, added the land back in, and that's how I got to the
To
444.
444,
Yes, sir.
all right?
all right, so this, I'm saying,
This
you're
house,
saying 570, 800, right?
That was his original value. And then
570, 800 was the original value. Yes, sir.
All right, so where am I missing your new evaluation at?
It's on a comper that has a value of $580,600.
Okay,
Okay, so what I did was I removed the land from that $580,000. Then I multiplied to get 73% of the improvement value after the land was removed. Then I added the land back in to get 444. Hey, there's a,
over here, okay. Got so many
And the
papers.
comps that you used, that you have provided,
Okay.
the only reason you didn't use comps from the first one is because it's 4,000 square feet versus
This-
2,500 square feet?
okay, yeah, this house is 2 stories tall.
Okay.
Each floor is 4,260
Okay.
square feet. So, yeah, we're at 8,500 square feet of floor. The second floor we have is unfinished, and then the third, or the attic area, we obviously have is unfinished, which is not included in that 8,500. So this is the unique duck in the county.
Yeah, this is really
We're
good.
4,200 square feet on the first floor at 73%, 4,200 on the second floor at unfinished
No
value.
power, no light, no,
I would assume that to be the case.
That's correct, no power and lighting. And before you ask, there's only one, the well hasn't been drilled on that house.
okay. That's good. But it's good to know, now,
It's a
now I
big-
can
it's a
visualize
big
in my
house.
head, this
Yeah.
house, this picture doesn't do that.
Sure, let me,
I mean, 8,500 square foot house, not
not finished.
completed.
Correct.
Definitely not.
Not complete.
So that's really, yeah, you had to find some different comps, that's for sure.
So I had to go a little bit further.
Yep. $3,800, $3,400, $3,900.
Yep.
Is that based on the fact that 73% of 400,
It's
4,300
an
square
odd
feet?
coincidence, no, sir. Those are the biggest ones I could find,
That's
as
correct.
close as I could get in that,
Okay.
in that quality.
All right.
Thanks, sir. So this property does not have a well, I heard you,
That's correct.
but you said it did a while ago.
Oh, it has, 2 drain fields, but the second, the well on the bigger house has not been drilled yet. There's no permit for it. It hasn't been done. But-
Are you using the same septic system?
No, sir. The drain field is in the back of that house, and then the other drain field is in the back of that house.
Is anybody living in the house?
No, sir. It's only 73% finished on the first floor.
But you've got a septic system for it.
We got the drain field that's just put in.
Yeah.
And where the septic tank's gonna go, that's,
It's not attached to the house.
but it's not attached.
Okay. I got you, I understand.
When was the home initially constructed?
Between 2010 and 14 is when we were working on it.
What's your plans to complete it? When, what, or,
After COVID is over, next year or so, like to apply for a permit next year and finish the bottom floor only. We're gonna leave the second floor unfinished.
Yeah, 4,000 square feet is a lot.
Yeah, it's not necessary. Maybe somebody else would like to finish it someday.
Awesome.
so this home is, it's not complete?
Correct, that's
And the county took that all into consideration
Yes, sir.
when coming up with the value of 444.
444, 400 includes the percent complete, which would also consider any utility connections, which wouldn't occur until 100%.
Yeah. And you didn't have a time on number 11, this one we're discussing now, to review those 3 comps they
Came
used.
in after 515.
I understand. Thanks.
they're comparable homes.
Sorry, Randy, I'm
No,
done.
no, it's all good. Anything, Mike? Mark?
No, sir.
Ray? All right, thank you.
Parcel number 12 and 13. Parcel,
I'm sorry, am I allowed to say one final thing?
Sure you can.
On the 11 comps I provided for the second house, the big house, some of those are around 5,000 square feet. The other house is only gonna be 4,200 square feet finished. So I have between 5,000 and 3,600 on those 11 comparables.
These are the numbers
Yeah.
you gave.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and it's just hard for me to,
And
I don't know how big these homes are. I don't know anything about
Oh, I
that.
understand.
You know what I mean? You
I
just
thought
gave
that you have them printed out from our sheet, but they're the same size. A lot of them are newer, like 2014, 2016, one's a 2019 home. They're truly comparable in age and size. And they're all, on that house, they're all comparables based on average plus construction cost. That's one of the criteria.
I was the one that looked up the comps for these 2 parcels, and I got a lot of my information and how to use.
From the
it.
county's
From
data?
Johnny Ziegler, yeah.
So that's where you got this information?
Yes.
Just, for me, writing it up like that,
Yes.
I can't see anything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you'd have printed out the property record card and it would have broke it down and said, here's, and it lists that, the county has that information, it would really help.
And this is our first time in this process. I'm sorry that I didn't know how to.
Yeah, that's,
You get the information to you.
that's how you get comps.
Yes.
Okay.
But those are from your website.
All right, thank you.
Tab number 12, parcel ID number 05114-318, have been submitted for your review.
This parcel is located in the Woodleaf neighborhood, just off Rehoboth and Waxhaw.
What tab are we, what?
12.
12, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
So if there are no shows, Robin, do we have to hear each case?
When the property owner doesn't show for the hearing and doesn't indicate to us that they're not going to show to the hearing, then we don't do anything with them.
All right, thank
We
you.
consider that to be a no-show.
That's right.
But if the property owner submits the information and asks the board to review it, then yes, you
Little
need to
different.
review what they have and go through the documentation.
And if they understand if they are asking us to review and they don't show, they can come back before us, correct? If they don't like our decision.
No, not to the BER. You
Okay.
would render a decision based on the information that was submitted, and then their next appeal option would be the PTC.
Gotcha.
Because
Thank
you can only do what you can do with what you have.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead, Belma.
You want to hear about this one from our side, or you?
Number 12, no?
Not necessary, is it?
If nobody's here, I don't want to listen.
I don't, yeah, we're gonna go with you.
Don't y'all agree?
All right.
That's how we used to do it in the past. I don't know if there's been new. Oh, they did?
That's,
They're not here.
But they,
Submit the information for your review regardless of them not being here.
okay, I apologize.
Decision made before.
Where is that information?
number 12?
Yep.
It's right after the appeal document. You'll see Ryan.
This is the same scenario with number 9, same thing.
Okay, so I'm going to number 12 tab,
Right.
all right? And the data's in here?
I got it.
That's fine.
So you'll pass the appeal, Joe.
Yep, and then we have that same
And then
Ryan
you have-
thing?
Yeah, you have the
Yep.
Ryan thing.
All right,
And
same
then
kind of
that's-
information,
That's it,
like the other ones.
yes.
Okay. Thank you, Robin.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for tabs 12, 13, and 14 for the county? Since the appellant is not here?
12 and 13.
Huh?
12 and 13.
I thought you said 14 also.
14 is a no-show. But I
Okay.
haven't read it yet.
12 and 15, 13 and 15.
Huh?
13 and 15.
Okay. Well,
12, 13, and 15, is that what you,
12 and 13,
so we're reviewing 12 and 13?
yes.
There are
I
no
thought you
shows.
said there were no show when you walked by.
They
Okay.
are.
Number 14, well, they are, but they have submitted the information.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But,
Oh,
So,
I thought it was something different.
so Van, after they submitted information, there are no show, we reviewed it, do we have to hear from the county?
I thought it was different.
You're reviewing the appeal information that the taxpayer submitted because they could not be here.
Correct.
It's not that they were not a no-show. They could not make the meeting, so they submitted their information. So you review their information, then you hear from the county. A true no-show is somebody that just didn't notify us, and
Okay.
did not show up.
just did an appeal form and just placed it in here and didn't bring any data and didn't bring. Yep.
There's a difference there.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a question out loud and anybody can answer it. All right, on number 12 and 13, that's the ones we're doing, correct?
Correct.
Taxpayer opinion of value on number 12 is 185. Original value from the county was 2078. No changes were made by the
Correct.
county based
Correct.
on this appeal.
Yes, sir.
And then on number 13, taxpayer opinion of value is 253. Original value by the county was 287?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that correct?
Yep.
And now, because it's actually going before the board, the county came up with a new opinion of value based on whatever information you gathered at the time to lower it to 263.8.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
correct?
That's correct.
And that's the data we're going to go through. So one you changed, the other one you did.
Correct.
All righty.
Any questions for the county? All right, Mark?
Did you look over those, number 12, and did you look over that Ryan stuff in this thing?
Yeah, to me, it looks like information from the parcel. It looks like they're sending us information from each parcel.
Okay,
Both appeals, 12
12 and,
12 and 13 look very similar. The numbers were different, but it looks like they're just telling us what this parcel has done in the past.
okay.
And then maybe what they're trying to rent it for.
Yeah, I was thinking pretty much most of them might be rental.
Yeah, I got a question. This stuff here, they sent us by the same person or individual. I got tab 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. All this stuff.
Yes, sir?
I think what Randy was asking, you haven't had a chance to review this, have you?
Well, yeah, I have, actually. This
I
has
would
been in
hope
for a
so.
while. This has been in for a while, but to me, it looks like information from the parcel. The parcel sold for 118, parcel sold for 125 on this date, 135. That's what it looks like to me.
So you've had a chance to look at this stuff?
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything other than sales information from parcels.
So rather than take 12 and 13, we could take this whole schmear at the same time, correct?
I'm here for 12 and 13.
Okay.
Those are my two parcels out of this group.
Those, the information they provided,
Yes, sir?
is that from the county records?
It appears to be.
You know, like.
Except for the
Like
rental.
the other ones?
Except for the rent, yes, sir, in my opinion.
Yeah. That's what I would, looked like it to me, that it just pulled.
Yes. Sales
And you
information.
verified those sales, or whatever. In other words, were
Well-
they in your comps?
No, they were not. They're old.
See?
01, 05, 06, and 20 was, but that's where they purchased it, so.
So it's what they paid for it, that's why they're using them, and
Sure.
that's fair market value, got it.
That is the common denominator on the Ryan homes that I've noticed is their homes that were purchased in the last year, and they're asking for their purchase price.
And the county is just short, I don't know, it says 185 taxpayer opinion, I don't know if it is or not, they're not
So
here.
number 13,
Yep,
you got acquired date of 1920, and acquired price of 253, and that's what they're asking for.
okay, because
It's
it,
a purchase a year and a half ago at this point, but a year prior to the evaluation date.
okay. Because he does have it on that front cover, that's pretty.
Yes.
You know, the tax value and what they think. It's good. And you had a chance to review those comps, and you don't agree with the comps because you're.
Well, they're just sales from that parcel.
Yeah.
So they're taking this
There's-
parcel right here in blue, and they're giving me all of the sales that it had over the years,
Right,
which are not necessarily
Based on-
comparable sales.
correct. I agree with that part. I don't have any questions for the county.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Tab number 14, parcel ID number 07093731. It's a no-show.
Tab number 13.
Tab number 13, I'm sorry.
No, we're on number 15. We
So,
just did 12
is this an
and
official no-show,
Yes.
14 is no.
Van?
Okay,
Is they- all right.
all right, let me do this. I'm going back to the front page, the agenda page. So we did 12 and we did 13, correct? We've already done those, just had that conversation. Is that not right? We
Yes.
just stopped. Now we're going to,
tab number 14,
which is a
no show.
excellent, because that's what I had written down. Okay, and now we're going to,
We're going to go to tab number 15, and if it's the board's pleasure, we can look at 15 through 20.
oh, okay, it's all the same thing.
And this is all submitted documentation that the tax rep is asking the board to review. And we've gone over the documentation.
And we had no change value in any of them by the county, is that correct? Just looking at the agenda. Okay, are you in charge? All right, that's good.
Sure.
So Van, let me argue with him a minute. Okay, so these guys submitted information for us to review. Then they chose not to come to substantiate their appealing the thing. But we still got to review it, even though they chose not to be here. If I had this many appeals on property, I believe I'd have showed up.
We can't speculate as to the circumstances around them not being here. All I know is they asked us to present this to the board for your review.
So when they asked you to,
When did that come in, though?
this morning?
Yeah, the email came in this morning at.
11.
This one?
Okay.
But it's been on the agenda
Oh,
for weeks, correct? That's how y'all do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
You line them up and see who's
And
showing.
they've been knowing weeks in advance
Right.
of August 23rd.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
But I'd like to expand on what the chairman just said. They submitted this stuff. Today's the hearing, they don't show, and yet we gotta take the time to sit here and review this stuff. Now, it could take an hour, it could take 3 hours.
We're not arguing, we're not mad at y'all.
But I'm just saying generally.
charge, I don't know.
But I am aggravated.
I'm not happy.
We take the time to sit up here, and then
And throw this,
Had they asked for a reschedule, we would have rescheduled it for a later date.
you know, that was the option I thought about.
So they did not ask for that.
In agreeing with you.
It's the board's decision as to how you adjudicate the bill.
okay, so be honest with you, on the record, we make short work of this.
There you go. That's a chairman.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bam, I think we go to the next one. I think, is it 20, 21?
Okay.
And they accepted the staff recommendation?
Yeah, tabs 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 are staff recommendations.
Okay.
So they were accepted, and, wow. What's the tab number 24? Do y'all, what is that property? Yeah, but I don't know what,
That's staff recommendation, right?
It's only
Yeah.
worried about, that's all that.
Yeah, that was.
well, that's why I'm asking what it
Yeah,
is.
that is.
I mean, you know, the original value was 21 million, then they appealed in taxpayer opinion 10,
That's an
and then it
agreement.
loaded.
That's agreed. We
Yeah.
adjusted the value, they agreed to
Okay,
it. Yeah,
but it's all back.
yeah. It's one-
Okay, see, that's what I didn't know. I didn't know what AT Power Metals. I should have known, but I didn't. Okay, on the staff recs, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept the county's values and.
You want to take an order, or is that all right, Robin?
Oh, we,
We can vote on,
All right, let's go to, thank you, guys.
I need a vote on the staff reps.
oh yeah, I made the motion.
Is there a
Somebody's got a
second?
second.
Second, but we got multiple seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign, no, thank you.
Off to deliberations.
Ms. Delaney and her,
Do we need to take a break, Mr. Chairman?
I'm good right now, because I think we're on a roll. Tick, tick, tick.
okay,
All right,
Ms. Delaney,
Ms. Delaney,
I think, I would,
Yes, sir.
she's got a wonderful property that's peeling off $140,000 gross income every year. I think, I was looking at, if you do the math, let's say, I was doing some quick math, at 85 is, let's see if I can find it. There. I don't think I did the thing, but, so the lots, she knows, was worth 55,000 each, because she sold one.
Yeah, at that time.
Okay.
219.
Yeah.
219.
So then you got 800 square feet. It's gonna,
13,
it's gonna cost $100 a square foot.
Oh, at least.
To replace it, so now you're, I mean, I personally think, recommendation, the county nailed the value.
I'll make that as a motion, Mr. Chairman, on all 8
8, 9.
or 10, because she didn't know, but we'll do all of her properties. That is 1 through 8.
I think the variation in the values, I think the county said, it may be a stoop, it may be a deck, it
Yep.
may be something else that's added on value, or subtracted, but. You make I got a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Like sign no.
Nine,
So,
Under deliberation is tab number 9, parcel number 09216-108. The taxpayer was not here and asked that the board review their documentation.
Mr. Chairman, after review, I would like to make a motion that we accept the county's value of $242,500 for tab number 9.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mike, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No, like sign no, thank you.
Do we,
tab number 10, 03108-021A.
These are the two properties that the father and son owned, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
presented. So if you want to take 10 and 11 together, we
I
reviewed the
I certainly
information.
do. That sounds good. Is that okay with you, Mr. Chairman?
I'd like you to.
After review of their data, and some of it wasn't very good for me, I make a motion on 10 and 11 to accept the county's value.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Ray, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Like sign no. Thank you.
Then, Mr. Chairman, we have 12 and 13. That information was submitted by the taxpayer for the board's review, but they were not present.
And 12 and 13 is what you're talking about? And on 13, they've lowered the value from, the county made a new opinion of value of 263, taxpayers' opinion's 253. And definitely on number 12. I'm going to have to make a motion for the county value, opinion of value.
Do I hear a second?
So on both 12 and 13, we're accepting the county's value?
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah, I just want to make sure, it's a new
Yeah.
value.
I got a second from Mike. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Like sign no, thank you.
That takes us to tab number 14, which is a no-show.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we accept the county's value on tab number 14 based on a no-show.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Got a second by Mike, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Like sign no, thank you.
Tab number 15 through tab number 20, the information was submitted by the taxpayer for the board's review, but they were not in attendance.
Okay. Duly noted. Do I hear a recommendation that we accept the county's recommendation of value?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Accept the county's value.
I've got do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that takes us to the end of the regular agenda. I believe we have our tabled information to review today.
Do I hear a motion that we adjourn from our regular session, go into deliberation? We're talking about deliberation from a couple weeks ago?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
If I could, prior to that, could I get a little clarification on parcel appeal number 1? It was one of the Delaney condos or duplexes.
Yes, sir?
Yeah.
It was on our system originally as fair, while the others were on as average. When we reviewed it, we thought that was inappropriate.
I remember it.
We asked it to be moved to average. I just wanted to.
Yes, the new
clarify.
value.
The value you agreed on is the suggested one by the appraiser.
Yes, sir. In other words, to clarify it, on tab number 1, there's a tax office new opinion of value based on the change of fair to value, to good, and it's 162.3. I know what he's talking about.
Thank you very much.
All right, so she played this game last time.
Yeah.
Where she appealed that she was going to threaten to go to the state. Could that happen again, where y'all would,
Taxpayer has a repeal right to the property tax commission.
has what now?
Taxpayer does have a repeal right to the property tax commission if she disagrees with the value.
And attorneys can make decisions before they go to the appeal.
Is that,
and
so
that's
the
out of our
county's
hands.
attorney can,
County's attorney and or the Department of Revenue, but they review it. The state has staff that reviews each appeal with the county and the taxpayer prior to the hearing.
so she theoretically could get these values lowered by,
It is possible.
yeah, without having to go to hearing in Charlotte or Raleigh.
Correct. Which is kind of in the same tone that we try to do here. You know, if the county can agree with taxpayer on value, it's not the same, but then they agree, that's fine with me. If they can,
Do we
It's
have
just-
this on the agenda, or?
part of the job.
This needed to be on the agenda.
And yes, if you're
It
asking
needed
that
to
to
be on
me,
the agenda for
I
them
take
to
it, she
review.
might roll the dice and see if she gets a phone call again, might get a phone call and lower it some, but it's out of our hands.
And then it needed to be.
Well, I think we made the right decision.
So we're gonna have to handwrite it in.
Oh, no question about it.
that We're doing the deliberations for the ones that are tabled.
None.
When any?
Someone made a motion to adjourn the regular meeting.
Yeah, that's what Randy was saying,
That's
that,
what I
how do we do that? We need to end this one and then go into the new one. All right, I make a motion, we adjourn today's meeting.
Yeah, do I hear a second? We adjourn from the regular meeting. Second by Mike. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.
Have a good time.
And you picked a good day, though.
You ain't gotta ask me twice.
I heard
Good seeing
that.
you.
You be careful out there.
Beg your pardon?
I'm going to pass the book to you last hearing.
Okay.
So you can put this away.
Mr. Chairman, I might go to the little
Why
board.
won't you do that?
And I'm
I
gonna,
think this is gonna be quick anyway.
this is gonna be real quick. Talking about no data.
Okay, so it's worth flipping. We'll get your other books. I'll get these out of your way.
Get over there. You got it, thank you.
I'd like to be on record. I've got a deformed notebook here.
Well, that's what you got the special one. See what happens when you don't have the special one? Because now I gotta fight with Ray's. That's for all the information for you to review, Randy. We'll make sure we got it all for you. This is the old one up here?
Yeah, that's an old one. And this red book is for you.
This is not gonna take long.
Who's that?
I'm just trying to get the other ones out of here.
Turn this on. Paying these tax reps, okay? Right. There we go. To defend themselves, and we gotta ask questions. I agree with you.
Is that you right?
It's over, I like that.
Is you right?
That's exactly my writing.
Okay, good.
Scribbling, but it's not, I don't know writing.
We don't need to worry about mics, right?
Mike left?
Mike left, he's not involved in this one.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
We decided to.
No, he wasn't here for that.
He was not present.
No, he
That-
know Dutch.
He didn't hear the data and
Oh,
all,
okay.
or all the comments and stuff,
I don't know what this one
right? It was just the three of us.
Are we're not, Bella, we still recording? No.
No.
Okay, hey, Phil.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute, yeah, don't turn it on yet.
Don't turn on yet.
We want to ask,
Can we, so the bog, all the box appeals, can we just breeze right through every one of them? Or do we have to go in order and then come back? There's got, that one guy had two appeals,
Two or three, isn't
maybe three.
it? Yeah, I believe three.
So can we take them,
Works for me.
okay, rather than just go,
May get some feedback from Robin, but it works for me.
okay.
on how we deal with all those properties. Okay, Boggs was, who else was here that day?
There was one other gentleman.
Can you tell me what tab it was? Or can you do that?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be a very different name.
Yeah,
It was like 10, 11, 12, something like that.
It was that guy who was railing on,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that was terrible too. That was just not good.
I'll give you that.
I mean, he was almost a sovereign citizen.
I know. I mean, it had nothing to do with values of the
With
property.
the mint heel holders.
Yeah.
This week?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't
What
see
number?
you on that, but yeah.
7, 8, 9.
Okay. I didn't write on this stuff. I usually write on my papers.
What a,
Do we not have the right book?
as far as I know, yeah.
I mean, I do write on my tabs. That's the only way
No, that's your right. It's not Mike's. It's gotta be
We
yours.
can just come
Okay.
in
That's good.
at 9 a.m. Okay.
I think I did write on that. I think I did.
Is Dutch gonna be here?
Nah.
Here, I'll take this one out of your way.
Well, we-
Thank you. I've got it now, Mike.
We
Yep.
wrote Mike on it, but it was Dutch.
Oh, okay.
Mark,
Mark.
that's okay. You're fine. This is what I need is my,
You know.
the notes here that I wrote. Yep, this is mine.
And this is mine.
Robin, you don't want to make copies of this?
No, if they want to review it, we'll give it to the chairman. Mr. Chairman, do you want to get going?
Let's go for it.
Okay, hold on, let me turn on the recording real quick. Okay, Mr. Chairman, we'll report in.
Robin, I was asking Phil about if we could take one or two things, take them in order, or could we do all the Boggs appeals at the same time and then go to this other gentleman, his three, or what do you prefer we do?
It's the pleasure of the board.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
Doing bonds is one and doing the
All right,
other.
so-
I'm fine with that.
So in ruling on the, these two appellants, do we have to take them one at a time, or can we do a mass decision?
You can do a mass decision, Mr. Chairman. It's
Thank you.
really the pleasure of the board.
Okay. Based on that, Mr. Chairman, I can sit here and go over my notes, but I'm going to have to say, under the Boggs appeals, I really didn't feel like he gave us any data to hold the hat, put your hat on or anything. I mean, it was just his opinion, a house too old to, and for me, you can have an old house, but you're going to have to take pictures of it or something to show that it's really in bad shape. So I just never, during that whole time, and another example would be like the golf course, okay? And I'm going, did the county not say there was a sale for, I think it was Firethorn sold in 2019 for $8 million or something? Is that correct? I just need so, yeah. So even under like that parcel, You know, he just talked about how COVID is and all that. But, you know, if you own a golf course, I think you might know that something sold, in my opinion. I mean, we actually have a comp, even though golf is terrible and COVID was bad and they didn't make any money and they're not making any money, that one actually sold, and it sold for 8, and the county, I think, said stuff about how they took that value and lowered it down based on where location and all that.
Good memory.
So that's what I'm saying is that issue is, you know, we have a comp, and gosh, golf courses don't sell except in South Carolina or where Kiowa Island or wherever.
Well, the big deal on the building, the last valuation was 2015. I believe that was under construction. I play over there a lot. It was under construction. Now it moves from 2 to 4. I think it's 4 now. That's a no-brainer, okay? It's finished. But I agree with you, Mark. The gentleman came in, and he's got all, at one point he said, let's make a deal. Well, we don't make deals. We're not going to make deals. We go based on the facts. He came in here with very little facts. Other than go with the county, I don't have nothing to base any opinion in maybe you guys do, but I stand with the county.
And you heard Van say during that meeting that at some point of that meeting where he was asked to provide information prior to the meeting and did not.
Yes.
I don't see him here today. Where is he?
Well,
He don't have to be here today. He could be.
Well, okay, that's right.
yeah, and I don't have a problem in that. I just, in general terms, I wasn't wanting to bring it up, but like the first appeal, and I know I'm killing time, but I shouldn't do it. I was kind of in disagreement with the county's value. I mean, the house original value was 3.3 million, and the county lowered it to 2.6. And it was because they couldn't find an excellent in a house that big, 8,500 square feet. And, you know, based on the time of like in 20, there weren't any sales or something, but I thought that was pretty nice of the county to lower it to 2.6.
Mr. Chairman, I will add, we did receive documentation from Mr. Bob this morning.
Okay.
But it was really just a summary of what he presented on each parcel
And
at the hearing.
No factual,
Yeah.
just his,
Nothing that I
No.
saw.
stating his opinion.
She's got it here, you can flip through it real quick, if it's your pleasure.
I'm not looking at it. I'll have to bring up another issue.
Hang on a minute. Yeah, look at that. Yep, there it is.
Another issue was like where all his equipment was when they were building.
Out there on Stafford Street.
Yeah, okay. And we had that say, did you have an easement? This, you know, no, it's landlocked and all that. And then my recall is the county, you know, looked it up and came back in and said, you do have an easement. You've had it since whatever. And he said, well, that's good. He was happy. That's just information. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion on the Boggs properties based on lack of any real data to support his opinion of value, which was just based on the last reevaluation, just leave it like it was, property values haven't gone up. I recommend county's values.
Okay. Here, a second.
Second.
Got a second by Ray. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Like sign no. Thank you.
And just for clarification, I'm going to read off the tabs real quick. That decision applies to tab number 1, tab number 3, tab number 4, tab number 5, tab number 6, and that's it.
10,
So,
10, 11,
Yeah.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
yep,
17, 18, and 19.
yes, sir, thank you.
Very good.
So now we're moving on to tab number 7 and tab number 8. The property owner is
And 9.
G3 Mint Hill Holdings. And 9. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it when you keep me straight.
No problem.
This gentleman, I recall, he bought all 3 properties and just kind of based his on the fact of what he paid for it. And we all know that, you know, values change. just because you buy a house, that's what it was at that moment, but, you know, over
Yeah.
time and, you know, during the reevaluation period, you know, 2 years, whatever. I just felt like he did not really provide enough information for me on this one. Do y'all have any opinions?
You know, I'm sitting there looking at what the county thinks and then what he thinks, you know, I just think the county, based on comps,
Yep.
recent sales, they're correct in the valuation of his property.
I do too. I think that's an excellent way to put it, Mr. Chairman. They have comps, and that's pretty much all that matters. I'd make a motion, we accept the county's value on those
Okay.
parcels. I mean, tab number 7, 8, and 9, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
I second it.
We got a first, and we got a motion, we got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, like sign no. All right, thank you. Do I hear a motion that we adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
I'll second.
Second, we got a second. All in favor, say aye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good job. Good job. But you're right.